In every part of your journey, never forget this: who you are and whose you are. A poem, Striveless Striving. The key, it seems, in all the deep issues of life is to know when to strive and when to cease our striving. Every darkness that threatens the soul, as is every light that casts a creative glow, almost always share the same bed. They each wrestle for control of the fading dreams of Eve, just as they will challenge the day, one question to frame: will we or shan't we? If we could only cease our striving in what is God's or another's alone, and yet find within the passion to sweat when it's with creative devils we wrestle, will we or shan't we? That is the question. 12:6:22. The section on reflections. First emotions. The collapse. Reflection 1A. I failed Jack. 2 days ago, my world came toppling down around me. Today, on Thursday, I sat in the office of my childhood and now adult friend. He is my superior and holds the authority of God and the church in deciding the manner, intensity, and finality of my self-chosen fall from ministry. He could make restoration a future possibility before the congregation that had known me as their pastor and now associate pastor, possible or impossible. As I left his office and entered the cold, dark night all alone, how I wished my 90-year-old in human years, Beagle Jack, were alive. He would have lifted his head, his tail wagging, and parked himself right in my path, the middle of the driver's front seat, with no care about the nature of the selfish betrayal of my wife or our children or our church. Jack would have simply cuddled up to me as friend to friend, as I shut the door, keenly aware of the losses I had created and could not fix. I could not help but long for my friend Jack. What was clear now is that I had betrayed the very love Jack had always given, faithful, present, and unconditional. I had failed Jack. Reflection question. Describe your own dog simply by the personality and character traits that she or he exhibits. Scripture, Proverbs 31:10 through 31. And then a space for your notes, feelings, and insights. And if you need them, additional space on page 170. Reflection 1B, Fear and Shame. Page 54. I hate dogs, at least I did at the time Jack first came into our lives. My earliest memory of dogs were disgusting, preceded by frightening. I must have been 8, perhaps 9, when on my parents' farm in Paul, Idaho, what is unfolding before me is 2 barnyard hounds going at it, making love. I stared in disgust, somehow fascinated yet horrified. In the minutes that followed, I separated them from one another. Their shameless sin and whatever that gooey stuff was that bound them together was done, gone. In that sunlit, wintry morning, all I could think of was, this is how Mom and Dad acted? Ugh. The downward spiral in my lifelong struggle with sex had just been framed. I was repulsed. Just a year earlier, the fear of dogs was impressed upon my spirit. Our dog and I was playing in the living room couch, wrestling. As I giggled, my dog snapped at me, catching my chin in what I'm sure now was innocent play. It stung. I screamed, the tears rolling down my cheeks. As I ran out the room toward the safety of my mommy's embrace, Never again did I feel safe in that little transitional house, our home, while waiting for our new farmhouse to be built. Somehow these two memories were embedded deep within me, assuring that my children would grow up dogless. These two memories, rooted in shame and fear, were the only experiences I recall of a dog till Jack. Question: what childhood memories have shaped you? How so? The scripture text, if you desire, is Isaiah 41, 1 through 14. And then, of course, there's a space for notes, feelings, insights on page 55. An additional space if you need it on page 170.